What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tony Dubz here. Smoking, which I shouldn't be. Never fucking smoke, kids. Don't do it. It's a bad fucking idea. Anyways, so I guess this will be my first vlog. No, I hate that word. I want to get back to some of this Sony bullshit. Just kind of run down some thoughts here that I had on the subject. It appears Sony finally grew some balls and decided that the movie should be seen. And pretty much the only theaters that are going to be showing it are these tiny independent theaters. And when I say tiny, I mean tiny. Like, most people are used to going to the Regal or the AMC or the Cinemark, and there's 20 screens, and the movie you want to see is showing on 3 different screens at the same time, and there's 300 to 400 seats in the theater, or however fucking many they hold. But you got to realize that these independent theaters are one of those auditoriums, which are probably maybe half the size to 2/3 the size of one of those auditoriums in a Regal cinema or any cinema. They're very small. Very few tickets can be sold throughout the day when you consider how long the movie is, how many people it can fit in the theater, how many screens they have. So people out there saying that this was all a big publicity stunt because now the movie's finally going to come out. It's actually going to come out on Christmas Day. You're kind of wrong. And I disagree. If it was a publicity stunt, they would find some way to convince the major theater chains to get back on board, which might still happen because they're going to be losing money. I mean, obviously, all these other little indie theaters, there's a bunch of them that's going to be showing this. They're willing to take the risk. They're going to make all this money that the bigger chains are never going to see a dime of because they chickened out. And now, I don't blame them for chickening out. They had a lot to lose by showing it if, that's a big if, something did actually happen. I don't think it would have, but if it did, they would be liable. And with the warning of the attacks would have been enough probably to get some people a substantial settlement. So I get it, but I feel like Sony kind of put that into the heads of the people that run these big chains. Like, hey, you guys don't have to show it if you don't want to. It's cool. Because I think they would have shown it if that hadn't been an option. Like, they always have the option to not show a movie. They don't have to show every movie that comes along. But just Sony being like, hey, you guys don't have to show it, was enough for them to like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't. And of course, the 9/11 level attacks that were threatened. I mean, yeah, it's cause for alarm, and I understand why they were scared. But at the same time, like I said in the last video, we can't let people like that push us around. I understand being scared of litigation and scared of something happening and you being held liable. Completely understand. But you also have to think about it rationally. You have to use some common sense and realize that, the chances are pretty slim. Threats like this are rarely made public. Usually threats are, if somebody wants to attack something, they're not going to threaten to do it. They're just going to fucking do it. Like in Aurora, Colorado, or whatever the fuck it was, when the kid shot up the Dark Knight screening. He didn't fucking threaten. He just showed up and started shooting. That's what people do. It's terrorism. They threatened, they made them afraid, and, they got their way. So, anyways, I digress. I don't think it was a publicity stunt. Because you got to think about when you factor in the hack and all these things that happen, Sony has come out looking horrible in this whole thing. There's that whole, bad publicity is still good publicity, or whatever the fuck the saying is, or whatever, I don't know. But that's not always true, especially when you consider what happened. The hack was fucking it was devastating to Sony as a company. Nobody wants to work for a company that can be hacked so easily. They've been hacked 3 other times in the past few years. And with all the information that was leaked this time, and just the emails and all that other stuff, it just doesn't make your company look good. Nobody wants to work for a company that has no security, and it's going to take them a while to rebuild from this. Sony's not going to go away, but it's going to be a rocky road for a while. So again, the cons far outweigh the pros in this situation. If it was a publicity stunt, it was poorly executed. And again, yes, the movie's coming out, but the venues that are showing it are not exactly big money makers for the studio. So again, the whole publicity stunt angle kind of falls flat. So they got hacked. There's no denying that. Is it possible that they were pulling the victim card? Maybe they made up the terrorist threats, like they contrived it, because maybe the hackers had some big bombshell that they said they were going to drop, if they showed this movie. And Sony figured, hey, we can't just tell the American public that, they have this bombshell. They're not going to care about that. The American people don't really tend to be that compassionate with big corporations. They've already shown that they like reading all the emails and all that stuff. So of course they're going to want more information to come out. That's exciting. That's it's people like that kind of shit, is what I'm trying to say. So, maybe you contrive some terroristic threats, but then you get the government involved, and you get into this whole conspiracy territory. And again, of course, the hacking group would have come out and said, hey, we didn't do that. We said this. And they're already fucked right there anyways. So I don't think that's I think the hackers really did threaten these 9/11 style attacks. Even though, again, I think they were unfounded threats. I don't think anything would have come of them. But who knows? I don't think that they would risk having this movie in all the biggest theaters in America. Because as it is right now, like I said, in the small theaters and the VOD, it's not going to work out. They might break even. They'll definitely break even, but they're not going to make a lot of profit through these means. And it just, for the publicity, like, you can't tell me there was somebody at Sony that was like, hey guys, let's, ruin the company's public image. Let's purposely lose a ton of money and leak some films and say we received threats of terrorism just so the interview is the biggest movie of all time. And then some other guys like, hey, yes, let's do this. How soon can we start fucking over our own company? That's not how it works, people. Use your fucking think nugget. So even if the major chains decide to get back on board at this point, it's not going to matter. Because the damage to Sony's public image, the damage to Sony's credibility has already been done. Even if they make a shit ton of money off this movie, it's not gonna help the fact that people are now sour towards Sony in a lot of different ways. That's not the way publicity works out. Publicity is done for monetary gain. Popularity doesn't pay the bills. Only money pays the bills. So yeah, while they get a lot more popular off this, they're not making a whole lot of money off of it. And at the same time, even if they do, their future is kind of on shaky ground at this point. Nobody wants that. And some have mentioned that it wouldn't make sense for North Korea to even be involved in the hacks. Getting back to the hacking aspect of it. What do I do with my lighter? Here we go. Excuse me. Damn fire-safe cigarettes go out on me and shit. Or what? So yeah, some people have said it wouldn't make sense that North Korea be behind the attacks, because the threats of the movie don't release the interview were not an initial. They seem to be an afterthought. In other words, when the hack originally happened in late November, the first thing the hacker said wasn't, "Hey, we're doing this because the movie The Interview is a slap in the face to our dictator." You know, it just seemed to be like a stick it to the man kind of thing. And maybe it was at the time. Maybe North Korea got involved after the fact. Maybe they saw it as a way to get what they wanted and threw a little financial backing at the hackers and said, "Hey, throw this out there too." You know, see if we can't stop them from releasing this movie. And they did temporarily. And that all makes sense if you don't remember back to in June the initial threats by Kim Jong-un, where he said that the movie The Interview, if released, would be seen as an act of war and they would be forced to retaliate. And it makes perfect sense that this cyber terrorism, this hacking, could be their retaliation. I do believe that there could be an inside person. I believe it could go half and half. Maybe there's an inside guy. Maybe because Sony recently laid off a bunch of people. You know, surely at least a couple of those people were disgruntled. And at least a couple of them probably had the tech savvy to be able to do this type of stuff. And they knew the proper channels to get into the infrastructure. Very possible. And, you know, very possible that they reached out to North Korea or vice versa. And ended up working together on this thing. Because, again, like I said, Sony, Japanese company, North Korea, and Japan, not exactly the best friends. Again, North Korea is not best friends with anybody, but Japan, even more so. Apparently, there's Japanese citizens that are being held prisoner in North Korea. I don't know all the details on all that. I've just read some bits and pieces here and there. But, you know, this movie released could be seen as a slap in the face by Kim Jong-un just because Sony's name is on it. And that's more than enough reason, in my opinion, for him to... Because people are saying, like, oh, well, why didn't Paramount get some shit for Team America, and why didn't this and that? And it's because, again, it's a little more personal. For some reason, when Japan is tied to it, Sony is tied to it. It seems like maybe it might be a little more personal for them. Maybe not. I mean, maybe I read the wrong things. Maybe I'm getting some wrong information, but that's the way it looks to me. So I do think that North Korea definitely has a hand in it. I think that, you know, Kim Jong-un is despicable, but for some reason his people are loyal to him. It's very possible that the inside guy is from North Korea or has roots in North Korea. Maybe this has been planned for a while, you know. But regardless, I'd say that Sony being part of this adds a lot of fuel to the fire. Anyways, I just want to say it's not a publicity stunt. It makes no sense to believe that. Stop believing that, people. Stop spreading that rumor around. It's nonsense. And maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it is. But I don't... If you look at all the facts, if you look at all the stuff that's out there, this is just the way common sense tells me to go with it. So, in closing, I challenge everybody to go see the movie. If you live near one of these theaters that's showing it, go see it. You know, support the movie just for the fact that we cannot let terrorists or hackers or who the fuck ever tell us how to live our lives. We can't allow people to push us around, you know, to dictate what entertainment we enjoy. You know, this is our world, you know. We control this shit. We own the shit. You know, like, go fucking see it. Buy it on VOD. Buy it on DVD. You know, watch this movie because there are people out there that don't want you to see this movie. And you got to tell them, fuck you. I'll watch what I want to watch. You're not going to tell me otherwise. So, I guess that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Now, fuck off.